capabilities of our current, like Seven Hills has so much funding, so much staff. We're going to need to make sure they're taken care of. And we also need to treat mental, I would suggest that a lot of homelessness is mental health issues. I tell a story about a friend I helped get out of Vegas during the vid, and Vegas went to hell during the vid. And she escaped sex slavery, effectively. And it took a while to get her down here, and then when we got her down here, she needed help. It really did a job on her mental well-being. And she had been homeless after the vid hit. And to get her a place to live, Section 8 homing, a lot of it works out like this, is that in order to get, there's only limited positions of Section 8 homing. They have a maximum amount. And then the only way to get one of those slots is if somebody either moves out of it by, increase their income, or they've done better for themselves and they voluntarily move out of Section 8 housing, or someone dies. And I think they do it through lottery these days. But we were going to help her apply for Section 8 homing. I go up to Seven Hills. Yes, we gave her a place to stay with us while we were trying to get her sorted out. She started going to OGC meetings because they're equipped at least somewhat to diagnose her issues. And then sex trafficking, they have a special course for that, and a special series of classes for her and to deal with that. She's also on medication to deal with some mental health issues. And the problems that some of them don't realize is like sometimes your body becomes immune to some of, or resistant, we'll say resistant. And so it's a constant battle of recalculation. And a lot of people that end up being homeless end up either like their doctor didn't lock down that pill combo, or they just didn't take them that day. And a lot of, or it's undiagnosed mental health issues in general, and then they don't seek help. There's a distrust in like paranoid schizophrenia. Just a complete, you're the enemy, and it doesn't matter what you say. You can't rationalize this. You can try to say what you would do in a situation, but nothing, though. At that time, I felt like social workers weren't doing enough. I felt like, what the hell, if they really wanted to, they can get this dealt with. I'm dealing with my friend here, and she was a lot. Still think the world of her, good person, always was. But she was difficult to deal with at the best of times and her best moments. And I didn't know what I had on my hands. But when we took her to Seven Hills, we're sitting there at a picnic table and we become surrounded. She lets me know, you look like a cop. I'm like, God damn it, I do. And there's distrust in the area. There's a mother with her two daughters. She has them hanging around and they're playing. But apparently, and to get her story real briefly, she was, apparently her husband drained their account and took everything and jumped state. No explanation given. And she was one of these few people you help because the external world affected her, not an internal issue. It was external completely, something that you couldn't help. So that had occurred, and so she's there and among the others. The others, we don't like to say that the homeless can get volatile and dangerous. Oh, they can. And 3 of them were brandishing knives while we were there. One of them specifically daring any of them to come try to steal her stuff. One of them just showing off that he had it. Look at this. Look at this. No thanks. We're good on that. And one lady staring at me directly, carving the table. Now, I guess this is par for the course, from what I understand. Strange as it may be, you don't like to be comfortable in a sort of setting like this. A van drives onto the property while we're waiting for our turn. This van drives onto Seven Hills property and then just off of it. These homeless people recognize this van. One at a time they go up to this van. Each one comes back messed up. they're in bad shape. So each time it comes back, and each person that comes back in, just as bad. And that gets mixed up with a bunch of crazy. And I'm being nice about that. Another van drives onto the property, but it actually is onto the property. And opening that was one doctor and a couple of nurses, and they set up a tent. And they set up a tent for the COVID vax. And they're giving out free condoms and other things. And they're offering that. They say it in a broad way. We're offering this and we do this. And the strangest thing I noted was the same people that just got messed up at a van with who knows what, by God knows who, are like, I'm not going to take the COVID shot. That's crazy. What are you talking about, man? These people actually do care about your well-being. This other guy treated you as a mark, and you can't rationalize it. Again, try to rationalize it as you will. It's an eye-opener. And when we got her sort of applied, we got her out of there. She says, I don't want to be like this. Make sure I don't come back here. I get her a place finally. I have to sign for it myself. And then later we get her name onto the lease, and then later I'm removed from the lease, and she's stable after 2 years. Took a while, and took a lot of mental health addressing. And she still goes to OGC to address her experiences and her anxieties about being held for human trafficking. That is one person, and it took a lot out of me. It drained a lot out of me. It drained a lot out of my money. And then it's humbling because these people at Seven Hills, barely any staff to take care of who they had there in the first place, much less enforce keeping a van out of their place, dropping, again, offering who knows what to these people. They don't have time to police their own area. They barely have enough staff to take care of them. This is what they're left with. We try to address some of it by a little bit of funding. We are not funding nearly enough. We sure as hell need a facility to deal with the mental health aspects of it. So that means doctors. That means proper psychologists to make sure that people are getting the help they need. And it needs to be exponentially increased to meet and constantly stay above that the amount of people coming in via the percentage. And that's first on my list before we talk about aquatic centers. This is a priority thing to me. This is a need, not a want. Or wants are attractive, or wants grab us, or want. That looks good. I like that in my city. Wouldn't we all? We got this to deal with. Man, you're such a bummer. Yeah, probably. I'm sorry to hear that you believe it, but I've got to be the adults in the room. If we're the adults, if we care about our own, if we want to bring our own up, that has to be dealt with. This is not open for negotiation. But we want the new shiny. Sorry to hear it. We're going to put that on the back burner. Maybe we'll come back to it, but this is first.